Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events from around the world. We're starting off with a developing story that's been making waves in the international community. The United States has been signing new military agreements with several countries in South America and the Caribbean, under the guise of a war on drugs. But analysts say these deals may be more about expanding U.S. influence in the region and preparing for potential military action against Venezuela. The Venezuelan government, led by President Nicolás Maduro, has been facing intense pressure from the U.S., which has imposed economic sanctions and supported opposition groups in the country. The U.S. has also been accused of trying to seize Venezuela's vast oil reserves, which are among the largest in the world. Recent agreements include the deployment of U.S. Air Force troops to Ecuador, despite a referendum in which Ecuadorians rejected the establishment of foreign military bases. Peru's Congress has also authorized U.S. military and intelligence personnel to operate in the country, allegedly as part of efforts to combat drug trafficking. But critics say these moves are really about asserting U.S. dominance in the region and preparing for potential military action against Venezuela or other countries that don't align with U.S. interests. The Maduro regime has accused neighboring Trinidad and Tobago of taking part in the seizure of a Venezuelan oil tanker, and has threatened to respond if the country continues to cooperate with the U.S. As the situation continues to escalate, leaders from around the region are calling for calm and warning against the dangers of U.S. intervention. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops and exploring the implications for regional stability and global politics. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. I'm your host, Walter. We're diving into a complex and timely issue that's affecting millions of Americans: the potential expiration of tax credits for Affordable Care Act marketplace plans. This development has sparked intense debate among lawmakers and citizens alike. To understand the implications, let's break it down. The tax credits in question have been instrumental in making healthcare more affordable for many individuals and families. However, with the credits set to expire, concerns are rising about the potential increase in healthcare costs and reduced access to coverage. We've spoken to individuals from various backgrounds and political affiliations, and the sentiment is clear. There's widespread discontent with the current state of affairs. Many are frustrated with the lack of progress on this issue, and some have expressed feelings of betrayal by their elected representatives. It's essential to acknowledge that this is not just a partisan issue, but a human one. The expiration of these credits will have far-reaching consequences, affecting not only those who rely on them, but also the broader economy. Small business owners in particular are worried about the rising costs of their marketplace plans and the potential impact on their businesses. We've also examined the rhetoric surrounding this issue, and it's clear that language plays a significant role in shaping public perception. Politicians often use euphemistic terms or vague statements to describe complex policies, which can lead to confusion and mistrust among citizens. As we continue to navigate this complex landscape, it's crucial to prioritize transparency, empathy, and understanding. We must consider the human stories behind the policies and work towards finding solutions that benefit everyone. The story of Amber, a 30-year-old mother of two, is a stark reminder of the stakes. She relies on the tax credits to afford healthcare for her family, and without them, she fears she'll have to make impossible choices between paying for medical care or putting food on the table. As we move forward, it's essential to keep Amber's story, and many others like hers, at the forefront of our minds. We must strive for a more nuanced understanding of the issues and work towards creating a system that prioritizes the well-being of all citizens. Good afternoon, and welcome back to the Concrete Block. As we wrap up today's show, we're going to take a closer look at the ongoing situation in Venezuela, where tensions between the U.S. and the Maduro government continue to escalate. According to recent reports, the U.S. has been increasing pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro, with President Trump demanding that the country return oil, land, and other assets that were allegedly stolen from the U.S. This move has sparked concerns about the potential for regime change in Venezuela and the implications it could have for the region. To understand the complexities of this situation, let's take a step back and look at the interests of other key players involved. China, for example, has significant economic ties with Venezuela, including billions of dollars in credits and investments in the country's oil industry. China also sees Venezuela as a strategic partner in its efforts to expand its influence in Latin America. Russia, on the other hand, has been a longtime ally of Venezuela, providing military support and backing the country's authoritarian government. Russia's interests in Venezuela are largely driven by its desire to challenge U.S. supremacy in the region and gain a foothold in the Western Hemisphere. So, what does this mean for the U.S.? Well, the Trump administration has made it clear that it wants to see regime change in Venezuela. But the question is, what's the ultimate goal? Is it to promote democracy and human rights, or is it to advance American economic interests? As we consider these questions, it's essential to remember that the situation in Venezuela is complex and multifaceted. There are no easy answers, and any solution will require a nuanced and balanced approach. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.